Hi, it's Twyla and Chase. We're in Central Park, and we had the good fortune of meeting two warm and engaging sisters who have very interesting jobs. This one is Donna Lazzara. Donna is a licensed vet tech at the Animal Medical Center. Tell me something about the Animal Medical Center.
The Animal Medical Center is a wonderful place to work. I have been working there just shy of 20 years now. I am part of a wonderful team, the emergency critical care team. I work within the ICU and the emergency room. We deal with cats, dogs mainly. We see some exotics here and there. My job is to either get an emergency, figure out what their problem is with the doctor, and treat them and get them home or back into ICU. Or when I work in the ICU, I also just help treat the patients until they are able to get home.
Are there any misconceptions about caring for animals? For example, the heartworm, is that a serious issue?
It's definitely a serious issue if they are heartworm positive. It's not a definite, it's not a New York problem mainly, but when we get animals that come from different states, if they have tested positive for heartworm, it's a extensive treatment. I think it's once a week, once every couple weeks treatment that they have to get, and they have to be strictly rested, and it's about 3 or 4 month process. So they can either take them home and strictly rest them, or keep them at the hospital, and we do the treatments, and we just keep them restricted, let them out to go to the bathroom, but otherwise keep them restricted until they're good to go home.
It's rumored that dentistry is really important for dogs. Is it also important for cats?
Yes, definitely important for both of them.
What kind of problems can occur if they don't have good dentistry?
I have seen some horrendous teeth over the years. Major plaque tartar buildup where their teeth are rotting out of their mouths. Bad breath. Just
Does it cause other medical issues?
Not that I'm aware of too much. It could lead to other systemic issues down the road if it's really bad, but mainly localized to the mouth area.
Tell me about some of the interesting cases that you've seen.
Over the years that I've been working there, we had a lion come in from the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus. He was about 110 pounds, considered a baby. He had eaten part of his leather leash, so he had to come in and have an abdominal explore surgery so they could remove that piece of the leash. He had a handler with him at all times, and he was sedated as well, but I did get the privilege of treating him while he was in the ICU, and I got to go into one of the cages with him to do some treatments with him. I heard that he did let out a roar at one point overnight, but I was unfortunately not there to experience that, but that was pretty interesting. We also had a police horse that got hit by a cab. His chest was split open. They ended up treating him down in the parking lot. They sutured him up, cleaned him up, and then I think they follow through with the police, with the police veterinarians that they normally have. But since it was such an emergency, they rushed him to us. So that was another large animal. But mainly we are a cat and dog practice.
And when people refer to large animals, they mean mules and cows and things, right?
Yes.
Have you ever had any pigs, anything like that?
We have had some goats come in. We've had some chickens come in. I don't know about a pig. Back in the day before I started working there, I was told there was a tiger that had been hospitalized there at one point. We have a very big freight elevator. We used to take care of all the police horses. They used to house them underneath the 59th Street FDR Bridge, FDR Drive, where we right across the street from where our hospital is. So we used to treat them a lot, but that was before I started working there, which is almost 20 years ago.
What are the dangerous things people do with their animals? Especially in the summer.
Dangerous things in the summer we call high-rise season, hit by car season. People think that it's warm out. A lot of apartment buildings don't supply them with screens. They open up their window. Oh, my cat's not gonna go anywhere. And next thing you know, the cat has jumped out the window. When I first started working there was a cat that fell about 32 stories. Turned out he went home after he spent a few days in the hospital, luckily him. The higher you fall, the more chance the animal has to right themselves and land on their feet. The lower you fall, 4 feet or under, 4 stories or under, usually results into critical issues that are more life-threatening. You would think the opposite, but it's not.
Wow. Do you have grief counselors at the...
Yes, we have one grief counselor. I don't know what her last name is, but her name is Judith. They have recently just hired her about 2 years ago. There was a period in between all the years that I've been there that we were without a grief counselor. But when I first started working there, we had another person as well, but she had retired.
And veterinary care is like all other medical care. It's often expensive.
Yes.
Are there programs to help persons who have financial challenges?
Yes, there's things that you can apply for, Wells Fargo, as long as you have ID and a job. It's a phone call. They ask you certain salary questions or whatever, and then you either get approved or you don't get approved.
So they give you a loan right on the spot?
Basically it's like an interest-free credit card kind of thing. You pay it often in increments with them. We also have a program called SAVE. Mainly we get the money from that with donations, and it's a program that senior citizens, I'm not quite sure if it's 65 or 70 and higher, they have certain criteria as well, but it's a certain amount of money that they can get for 1 year's worth of treatments for their loved animals that they can't afford for themselves.
It's very sweet. And do you work with various rescue groups?
We are affiliated with the ACC, ASPCA. We see a lot of their cruelty cases. If they are very critical, they'll send them from the ASPCA hospital to our hospital, get them a little more stable, and then we send them back.
What's a cruelty case?
Cruelty cases, anywhere an animal that is neglected, abused. We had a recent little Yorkie that had gotten kicked by the girl's boyfriend. He had very bad brain trauma. He unfortunately did not make it, but the ASPCA police were investigating them. We have the right to call the police on somebody if we feel there's neglect or abuse going on.
Sickos.
And then they get investigated.
Right. Is there one thing that people should do? If they don't do anything else with their pet, what should they do?
Like spaying and neuter. I know it's a cliche, but spaying and neutering is very important to do it at a young age. Some people take it personal. It's like it's just a personal thing, but it's beneficial to them at a young age, because the younger that you spay or neuter them, there's less chance of mammary gland tumor cancer or testicular cancer, and it's just it calms them down. It just doesn't fully change their personality, but it's better for their lifelong.
Now, I know you're a cat person. How many cats have you had?
I had recently just had 2 cats. I lost my baby girl right before Christmas of 2019, so I'm down to my one boy Theo, but when I was younger we had as many as 6 cats at one point.
Holy mogoly. Thank you so much, Donna. Appreciate it.